Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram
Rama
Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare
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 Ram, Ram
Rama
Ram,
Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Ram, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, you're on mute.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Are you able to hear me, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
And you are also able to see my screen, right, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. I will start with Jai Radha Madhav. Jayo Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunj Bihari, Jayo Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunj Bihari, Jayo Gopi Jana Vallabha, Girivadu Dhari, Jayo Gopi Jana Vallabha, Girivadu Dhari, Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jayo Girivadu Dhari, Jayo Girivadu Dhari, Jayo Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jayo Girivadu Dhari, Jayo Girivadu Dhari, Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Jayo Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yamuna Tirabana Chari, Yamuna Tirabana Chari, Jayo Yamuna Tirabana Chari, Radha Kunj Bihari, Yamuna Tiravana Chari, Radha Ras Bihari, Yamuna Tiravana Chari, Radha Girivadu Dhari, Jayo Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunj Bihari, Jayo Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunj Bihari. Hi Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jayo Radhe, Jayo Radhe, Jayo Radhe, Jayo Shri Radhe. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. Welcome to our Saturday morning Bhagavatam discussion. Before I start today's discussion, I'd like to offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of all the Vaishnavas present here and those who are not present here all over the world. Please be merciful at me so that I can speak something that could please all your ears and that could ultimately please Srila Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj, all the senior Vaishnavas, my all Shiksha Gurus, and the divine couple, Shri Shri Radha Shyam Sundar. Hare Krishna. So today we'll discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Verse 16. Before that, let's do a little bit pranam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Narayanam Namaskritva Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayat Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Verse 16. Vichakshano sharhati veditum vibhor ananta parasya nibrittita shukham pravarta manasya gunir anatmanash tato bhavantarshaya chishtitam vibho. Vichakshano sharhati veditum vibhor Ananta parasya nivrittita shukham pravarita manasya gunir anatmanash tato bhavantara darshaya chishtitam vibho. Can I request a few devotees to chant this verse, please?
Vichakshano sharhati veditum vibhor Ananta parasya nivrittita shukham pravartamanasya gunay anatmanas tato bhavan darshaya chestitam vibho.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Vichakshanos syarhati vedatum vibhor ananta parasya nivartitah sukam pravartamanasya gunair anatmanas tato bhavan darshaya chestitam vibho.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Anyone else wants to recite?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. विचक्षणोऽस्यार्हति वेदितुं विभोर् अनन्तपारस्य निवृत्तितः सुखं प्रवर्तमानस्य गुणैरनात्मनस्ततो भवान् दर्शय चेष्टितं विभो.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much, everyone. Synonyms. Vichakshanaha, very expert. Ashya, of him. Arhati, deserves. Veditum, to understand. Vibhu, of the Lord. Ananta Parashya, of the unlimited. Nivrittitaha, retired from. Sukham, material happiness. Pravarta Manasya, those who are attached to. Gunai, why the material qualities. Anatmanaha, devoid of knowledge in spiritual value. Tataha, therefore. Bhavan, your goodness. Darshaya, show the ways. Cheshtitam, activities. Vivo, of the Lord. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Lord is unlimited. Only a very expert personality retired from the activities of material happiness deserves to understand this knowledge of spiritual values. Therefore, those who are not so well situated due to material attachment should be shown the ways of transcendental realization by your goodness through descriptions of the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. So let's read the purport. Does anyone want to read the purport?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Theological science is a difficult subject, especially when it deals with the transcendental nature of God. It is not the subject matter to be understood by persons who are too much attached to material activities. Only the very expert who have almost retired from materialistic activities by the culture of spiritual knowledge can be admitted to the study of this great science. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that out of many hundreds and thousands of men, only one person deserves to enter into transcendental realization. And out of many thousands of the transcendently realized persons, only a few can understand theological science, specifically dealing with God as a person. Sri Vyasadeva is therefore advised by Narada to describe the science of God directly by relating his transcendental activities. Vyasadeva is himself a personality expert in this science, and he is unattached to material enjoyment. Therefore, he is the right person to describe it, and Sukadeva Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, is the right person to receive it.
Thank you, Prabhuji. There is another paragraph. Does I think Divya Himangi Mataji said that you want to read. Do you want to read, Mataji?
Yes, sure, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam is the topmost theological science, and therefore it can react on the layman as medicinal doses. Because it contains the transcendental activities of the Lord, there is no difference between the Lord and the literature. The literature is the factual literacy incarnation of the Lord. So the layman can hear the narration of the activities of the Lord. Thereby, they are able to associate with the Lord and thus gradually become purified from material desires. The expert devotees also can discover noble ways and means to convert the non-devotees in terms of particular time and circumstance. Devotional service is dynamic activity, and the expert devotees can find out competent means to inject it into the dull brains of the materialistic population. Such transcendental activities of the devotees for service of the Lord can bring a new order of life to the foolish society of materialistic men. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his subsequent followers exhibited expert dexterity in this connection. By following the same method, one can bring the materialistic men of this age of quarrel into order for peaceful life and transcendental realization.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji and Mataji, for reading. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjena Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupo Kadamayam Dadati Padantikam. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanto Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesho Shunyavadi Paschattu Deshu Tarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanang Pavanevya Vaishnavevya Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are in Canto 1, Chapter 5, entitled Narada's Instructions on Srimad Bhagavatam for Vyasdev. So this chapter can be roughly divided into 4 sections. Like the first section deals with how Narada Muni inquires about Vyasdev's despondency or dissatisfaction, and Vyasdev responds. And then the second section says that how Narad Muni reveals the importance of explaining Krishna's pastimes, or reveals the importance of giving Srimad Bhagavatam to the world. And then the third section deals with Narad Muni narrates his past life. And the last section, Narad Muni advises Vyasdev. So we are in the second section that runs from verse 8 through verse 22, where Narad Muni is giving instructions to Vyasdev on the importance of explaining Krishna's pastimes. So just a little bit context, like what happened in the past, like what happened from like verse 1 to verse 7. It's like Vyasdev, after compiling all the Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, still became very dissatisfied. And on the banks of Saraswati, his kutir is there, and he was very despondent. And at that point of time, his Gurudev, Narad Muni, appeared on the scene. And Narad Muni asked to Vyasdev, what happened, O Vyasdev? Like, why are you so dissatisfied? Then Vyasdev actually admits his dissatisfaction, and like the way, like as a general custom and as the rule permits, that he glorifies the Gurudev, that is Narad Muni, and he asks about the root cause of his dissatisfaction. Although Vyasdev almost detected the root cause of his dissatisfaction, but it is the Shishya or the disciple's quality that he or she always goes to the spiritual master and asks the spiritual master, you please detect. So that was Vyasdev's mood. And so he is asking to his Gurudev and Narad Muni that you please detect what is the root cause of my dissatisfaction. And in this section, that is second section, that is from verse 8 to verse 22, what happens? Narad Muni is revealing the importance of describing Krishna's pastimes. Basically, he is saying that bhakti, kevala bhakti, or devotional service, is the only valuable asset. So even if Vyasdev, like he's saying that, oh Vyasdev, you have given like karma yoga, jnana yoga, but karma, jnana without bhakti, these don't have any importance. So anything you talk that is separate from the Lord, it just simply reacts and it agitates the mind. So basically, he delineates the negative qualities of material literature and also the positive attributes of spiritual literature. So that's how we discussed till now. And last verse, that is verse 15, Lal Gopal Prabhu discussed this verse actually. So in that verse, what happened? Narad Muni is little bit showing criticism towards Vyasdev, and he is saying that, "Oh Vyasdev, अपने धर्मों के नाम पे क्या दे दिया? In the name of religion, what did you give to the world? Actually, in this material world, everybody is naturally inclined towards sense gratification. And what you did, you just said that, yeah, you do sense gratification and then you come to Krishna consciousness. That means like indirect bhakti you have given. So basically, indirectly, you have promoted the natural tendency of the pupil. So that's why Narad Muni is showing a little bit contempt towards Vyasdev, and he said that you have given a covered picture of bhakti. You have prioritized karma and jnana yoga. And because of that, what happened? Dangerous chaos has been produced, or misunderstanding has been produced. Like different kind of mental speculation could have been produced by this thing. For example, people might think from your literature that no existence of God, there is no existence of God. People might think that, oh, they are God themselves, and they can think that, oh, they are independent of God. Anything can happen. And it can also happen that people might think that bhakti path is for the incapable people, those who are physically incapable, financially incapable, mentally incapable. Bhakti path is for them. And it might seem also to the pupil that grihastha life is for the capable pupil. So this kind of misunderstanding has taken place. This kind of blunder has taken place because of your giving of indirect bhakti, not direct Krishna consciousness. So you have tried to give like unhealthy food at first and then the healthy food. So my suggestion is that you give healthy food at the first, in the beginning only, and then people will understand the value of bhakti. So that is the context of our verse 15. And this is today's verse. That is verse 16. Let me read the translation again. The Supreme Lord is unlimited. Only a very expert personality, that is Vichakshana, retired from the activities of material happiness, deserves to understand this knowledge of spiritual values. Therefore, those who are not so well situated due to material attachment should be shown the ways of transcendental realization by your goodness through descriptions of the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. So please notice that in the first sentence, the Supreme Lord is unlimited. In this case, the Supreme Lord has been considered as Vivo. And then in the last sentence, by your goodness, here Vyasdev has been considered as Vivo. So 2 times Vivo have been used, and 2 times for different, like one time for Lord Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and another time for Vyasdev. So today, what we'll do, we'll try to discuss this verse in a dialogue format or a conversational format between, as if the conversation is going on between Narad Muni and Vyasdev. So during this conversational style, I would like to just point out like 2 things. So I have prepared like some questions, like 6-7 questions or cases based on Srila Prabhupada's translation and purport at the center. I mean, I have kept Srila Prabhupada's translation and purport at the base, but I have also taken the commentaries of other acharyas like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Jiva Goswami's Krama Sandarbha, and Bal Prabodhini, Shri Shubhodhini by Vallabhacharya. So it's not that like if you find that, oh, these questions are not there in the purport, so I have taken it from other commentaries. Just wanted to mention that. That is first. And second thing, I'd like to point out that many times I will say like, okay, Vyasdev asked these questions and Narad Muni is answering like this. And for that, I might quote some of the other verses from Srimad Bhagavatam. So please don't take literally that Narad Muni is quoting those verses. I have taken those verses based on the commentary, but as I'll be talking in a dialogue format, so maybe sometimes I will say that, oh, Narad Muni is saying that, but literally Narad Muni did not say this thing, but it is just his bhava, it's just his mood that I'm going to portray by quoting some of the verses. Just wanted to mention that. So 7 questions or cases that have been posed by Vyasdev in this verse, and Narad Muni will solve these questions or cases. The first one, Vyasdev is asking, "Oh Gurudev, you were asking me to talk about the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord, but am I qualified to do so?" Second one, "Is it really absolutely necessary for me, O Gurudev, to give Krishna or Srimad Bhagavatam directly?" Actually, Narad Muni said in the previous verse that you give Srimad Bhagavatam directly. So Vyasdev is asking, is it really absolutely necessary? Then third question, to whom I should give the Srimad Bhagavatam? And then the fourth one, well, I have already compiled the Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads. Now, even if I try to follow your instructions, will there be any person who will hear me? And fifth question is, could you please clarify why will the general population will hear Srimad Bhagavatam? Or is there any guarantee that the general population will hear Srimad Bhagavatam? The sixth question is, the sixth case is, I think whatever I have written, from that, those who are vivekis, I mean, those who have like sound mind with discernment, they will take the essence. Do I really need to give my time for the avivekis or the vivek shunyas? And the seventh question is, even if I write Srimad Bhagavatam, will there be devotees who will preach that Srimad Bhagavatam by considering the present conditioning of the jiva? So we'll try to unravel these questions through this verse. All right, so the first question Vyasdev is asking, am I qualified to do so? Like, am I qualified to talk about the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord? So Narad Muni is saying, "Oh Vyasdev, I have already stated your qualification at the beginning of the chapter. You all remember, right? I've already told you that you are Parasharya. You are the son of Parasar. You are Jigyashitam Susampannam. You are well versed in scripture. And you are Brahma Yat Sanatanam. You are liberated and you are Brahman realized. But still, if you want reiteration from my side, then Vyasdev, please hear that you have immense qualities. But one of your best qualities is that you are bichakshana. That is, you are very expert. It is seen that actually Vaishnavas, I'm talking about pure Vaishnavas, have lots of qualities. Why? Like Krishna has, although in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu we see like Krishna has 64 qualities, but that is like just Rupa Goswami mentioned that 64, but he has also ananta qualities. Similarly, his devotees, his pure devotees also have ananta qualities. So why the Vaishnavas have immense qualities? In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, chapter 18, verse 12, it is said that Yasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvir gune tatra samasate shuraha hara avaktasya kuto mahatgunaha manorathena satidhavatu vahi. It is said that all the demigods and all their exalted qualities like knowledge, renunciation, religion, automatically become manifest in the body of a devotee who has developed the unalloyed devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A devotee does not need to actually make a separate endeavor. If he or she has developed the Kevala Bhakti or unalloyed devotion for the God, for Krishna, then automatically all the good qualities manifest in a Vaishnava's body. And also from this, we can also understand another thing is that means those who are not devoted to the Lord, not devoted to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even if apparently we can see that they have some good qualities, but actually those are not good qualities. Even if we can see that maybe they are very much expert in the practice of mystic yoga, or maybe they are very honest, very adept in maintaining their family and relatives. But we should know that all those things, all those qualities are because of their mental speculations. So if really one has to develop good qualities, one has to be surrendered unto the Lord. Even Prabhupada many times said this thing in one of his purports. Prabhupada says that like all good qualities become manifest in the body of a pure Vaishnava. And how we can distinguish a Vaishnava from a non-Vaishnava? By his tilak. I mean, if somebody is wearing tilak, somebody is wearing dhoti, kurta, somebody is wearing nice sari, through that? No. So Prabhupada says that only by the good qualities. And we all know that in ISKCON, it's a very common saying, like one time, one person asked our Srila Prabhupada that, Prabhupada, how can you recognize your disciples? And Prabhupada said that, oh, my disciple is a very perfect gentleman. They know, my disciples know how to behave, where and how nicely one should behave. So automatically, like we can understand a Vaishnava through his or her good qualities. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami pointed out like 26 good qualities, among which one of the good qualities is expert. And I have found a little bit similarity between that. Like here also Narad Muni is saying that, oh yes, you are Vichakshana. And in Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami also said that the 25th quality is expert. That means Daksha. You are very expert. But how does what is the difference between of a Vaishnava's expertise or a non-Vaishnava's expertise? So basically, Vaishnava's expertise comes from the supreme expertise. How does it come? Because a Vaishnava is always surrendered unto his or her guru, spiritual master, and the Lord. Because he or she is completely surrendered unto the Lord, Lord bestows all the good qualities or all the good expertise on the Vaishnava. So he or she does not need to like take any like separate effort to cultivate those expertise. So like maybe like on the material plane, we might see like, okay, a Vaishnava maybe is not like materially influenced. Sometimes we see like, okay, maybe not materially educated or something like that. And somebody can be materially educated also, materially influenced also. But in any case, the expertise always comes by completely being surrendered unto the Lord. A Vaishnava never thinks that, oh, whatever I am doing, it's just because of my quality. It's just because of my endeavor. So all our acharyas have taught like this. So I was reading a story a few days back of Srinivas Acharya. He's one of the trios in like Narottama Das Thakur, Shyamananda Pandit, and Srinivas Acharya. We see like these are like one trio. So Srinivas Acharya one time got instruction from Jiva Goswami. That Jiva Goswami asked him that all the Goswami literatures like Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Instruction, that is Upadeshamrita, Chaitanya Charitamrita and others, all the Goswami literature you should take. I mean, Srinivas Acharya, actually the three, like Narottama Das Thakur and Shyamananda Pandit, to all these three, Jiva Goswami said that it is Gauranga Mahaprabhu's ichha or desire, like I can understand his desire that you all three take this Goswami literature from Vrindavan to West Bengal, that is Gaudadesh, Navadvip, so that this Goswami literature can be translated into Bengali, because so that Bengalis can also take advantage of this Goswami literature. So by taking the instruction from Jiva Goswami, these three, Narottama Das Thakur, Srinivas Acharya, and our Shyamananda Pandit left Vrindavan and started going to Bengal, Navadvip, Mayapur. And then on their path, in Bengal only, there is one place, Vishnupur, where they thought of taking little bit rest. So they were carrying all this Goswami literature in a bullock cart. So they put those books were there in the bullock cart and they were resting at night. Now, at that point of time, what happened? The king of Vishnupur was Bir Hambir. He was a very, very, capable king, very yodha, perfect yodha. So Bir Hambir, in his sabha or in his assembly, there was an astrologer. So he said that in a few days, a bullock cart will pass from Vishnupur, and in that bullock cart you will find like immeasurable treasure, uncountable treasure. So those treasure, you should just take that treasure and keep it with you. So Birambi said, okay, and that astrologer is never wrong actually. So his soldiers, like Birambi's soldiers, were very, vigilant that when the cart comes, and one day they found that three Vaishnavas or three people were there, and they came with that cart. And when they were resting, what they did, the soldiers stole the bullock cart with all the Goswami literatures. All those things, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, all those nectars are there. And then Bir Hambir, like all the soldiers, like brought it to Bir Hambir. And then Bir Hambir saw that, say that, oh, open the cart. And then he saw that only books are there. And he said, like, what is this? I mean, what kind of treasure is this? I don't understand. But still, because he has a little bit trust in his astrologer, he said that, okay, let it keep in the storehouse. But then the next morning, when those three, Shyamananda Pandit, Narottama Das Thakur, and Srinivas Acharya found out that, oh, there are no books, I mean, it is stolen, they got like so overwhelmed. They thought of just living their life just right away. But then Srinivas Acharya thought that, no, I should keep myself surrendered unto the Lord, and I should just pray to the lotus feet of Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And then he asked Shyamananda Pandit and Narottama Das Thakur to leave. And what he did, that like, he just completely surrendered himself and kept his faith on Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and then started doing his work in Vishnupur by staying in Vishnupur only. Like he started doing like prachar, like different like bhajans, and then prachar. And then finally Bir Hambir got to know that, oh, a great saint has come in our Vishnupur. And then one day he called out Srinivas Acharya. And then Bir Hambir got so attracted to Srinivas Acharya's talks that he got mesmerized. And day after days, he was hearing Srinivas Acharya. And one day, Srinivas Acharya opened his heart to Bir Hambir. He said that, actually, I was passing by here, and then this cart has been stolen, which has all our Goswami literature. And then Bir Hambir got a little bit ashamed. He said, oh my God, I don't know, like I have done a serious misdeed. But the thing is that I know that I have stolen this thing of Srinivas Acharya, but this is certainly Mahaprabhu's desire that a Vaishnav like you should stay here in Vishnupur for a long time and to deliver us. Mahaprabhu has actually sent you. Mahaprabhu's plan is different. So I can understand, Bir Hambir said that I can understand that because you have submitted to Mahaprabhu's desire, that's why you're a true Vaishnava. So then he took Srinivas Acharya to the cart, and when Srinivas Acharya saw all those books, he got so happy that, oh my God, that as if like he got his life. So in that way, after that, actually, he initiated Bir Hambir and all the residents of Vishnupur in Bengal. So you can see, like, a Vaishnava never gets overwhelmed. Definitely, when he's surrendered, he doesn't leave his work. He just continues doing his work, but at the same time keeps himself always surrendered. And this way, all the expertise comes upon the Vaishnava. All right. So here Narad Muni here saying that, yes, oh yes, Dev, you are Vichakshanaha. That means you are very expert, and that's why you have Vishesha Jnana Chakshu. So another meaning of Vichakshanaha. You have the special vision of transcendental knowledge. So you are basically expert in the knowledge of Atma, Paramatma, and Prakriti. You have the knowledge of temporary material happiness and the permanent spiritual happiness. But oh Vyasdev, do you know what is most important? You know Krishna in Tattvata, like in Tattva, with Tattva, and through Tattva. That is your expertise. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that theological science is a difficult subject, especially when it deals with the transcendental nature of God. Why Prabhupada ji is saying this thing? Because it's not easy to understand the tattva. Because when we try to understand Krishna's pastimes only without tattva, then we can become bewildered. Krishna's pastimes minus tattva, we become bewildered. Now let's take an example. Now, for example, if we ask, who is God? Lord Rama or Lord Shiva? Okay, we'll say, okay, Lord Rama. But then the counter argument will come, oh, why Lord Rama has worshipped in his pastimes Lord Shiva? Oh, Krishna has also worshipped different demigods. So why you are saying Krishna is God, Lord Rama is God? So what? Krishna has worshipped Sudama also. Krishna has worshipped Narad Muni also. Krishna has worshipped Nanda Baba's Paduka. He used to carry Nanda Baba's Paduka on his head. So everyone has become the Lord? No, it's not. So when we only try to understand Krishna by his pastimes, we become bewildered. You take the example of Damodar Ashtakam, the Damodar Leela. What he is doing? Krishna, what he is doing? My Guru Maharaj says that in Damodar Leela, Divya Kam, that is transcendental lust, and Divya Krodh, that is transcendental anger, have appeared in Krishna. What is that? Transcendental lust of drinking breast milk of his mother, Mother Yashoda. And the transcendental anger appeared when Mother Yashoda left him to check the boiling milk. Is it? I mean, if we only see, if we don't know about Krishna, who he is, and if we only see his pastimes, what is this? And how come Bhagavan can become so much angry? How can Bhagavan can become, can develop this lust? But that's why Shatabrata Muni in Damodar Ashtakam doesn't start with the Leela first. He starts with the Tattva. Namamishwaram Satchidananda Rupam. I offer my humble obeisances to whom? I am not explaining some XYZ pastimes. It is that Ishwara, Param Ishwara, the supreme controller, that Satchidananda Vigraha, who is the form of eternal form of blissful knowledge. So what is saying, like what Narad Muni is saying, that you know Krishna in Tattva, you are not only familiar with Krishna's pastimes, but you are familiar with the Tattva. Brahmaji is saying, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. You know that thing. And Lord Krishna is saying that Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. All these things, all this material, spiritual, everything, worlds, everything is emanating from me. When you know this thing, will not question why Krishna has worshipped demigods. Because what is our expectation then? Like Krishna will do Navavidha Bhakti, a Sadhana Bhakti. When he will come, he will do Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam. I mean, he doesn't need to do it. It's for us because we have to attain Krishna. Krishna doesn't need to attain himself. So why Krishna will come and Krishna will perform Sadhana Bhakti? Yes, of course. I mean, when Krishna came as Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu means in the form of devotee. You know that Mahaprabhu is none other than Krishna, but he came as a devotee. That time he taught, like, how to be lost in Krishna. He used to do like, Hey Krishna, Hey Madhava, Hey Keshava, Hey Rama, Hey Raghava, Oh Krishna. And he's shouting, Kaha mor prananath murali vadan, kaha jao, kaha pao, Brajendra Nandan. That time Mahaprabhu is saying that where can I go, O Gadadhar Pandit, O Gadai, where should I go? From where I can find my Brajendra Nandan, my life and soul, the son of Nanda Maharaj. So that time Mahaprabhu taught. Krishna doesn't need to do it. Krishna doesn't need to show like how to do Sadhana Bhakti by his own performance, but he has instructed that we have to do it. So Narad Muni is saying that you know that Krishna in Tattvata, O Vyasdev. So use your expertise. Use your expertise and preach Srimad Bhagavatam. Then the second question, Vyasdev is asking, but is it absolutely necessary, O Gurudev, for me to give Krishna or Srimad Bhagavatam directly? Narad Muni is like, yes, absolutely, you have to give. Two reasons for that. The first is that always remember that whatever actions the superior person performs, others will follow. Now, you are a Vaishnava, you are Saktavesha avatar, and also your ontological position is also, you are Vaishnava. So that means from you, everybody will understand that you are the torch bearer of dharma. Now, as a dharma dvaja, if you give Mishra Bhakti, if you give Karma Kanda, if you give Jnana Kanda, if you give Yoga Mishra Bhakti, if you give Chala Bhakti, if you give pretentious Bhakti, then you are worse than the atheists. Oh, why, Gurudev, why you are saying like this? I'm worse than the atheists? Because atheists explicitly say that there is no God. There is no value of bhakti. God is an imaginary sentiment. So we can easily recognize them. But you are in the garb of devotee, and in the garb of devotee, if you don't directly give Krishna, then people will get bewildered, right? People will, like, you can be more harmful than the atheists. So please give Kevala Bhakti. And another point is that, oh Vyasdev, you know very well that who can give bhakti? Bhakta. Only Aikantika Bhakta or Rashika Bhakta or Premi Bhakta can give Prem Bhakti, right? So like in Madhurya Kadambini, it is written that Krishna cannot give bhakti. Only a bhakta can give bhakti. So he says that, Narad Muni says that, oh Vyasdev, you are bhakta, so you have to give bhakti. So even in Chaitanya Lila, we see like, although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Krishna himself, but still he learned Srimad Bhagavatam from whom? Gadadhar Pandit. Who is Gadadhar Pandit? None other than Srimati Radharani. Who is Srimati Radharani? Although ontologically there is no difference between Radha and Krishna, but still Radharani is considered to be the highest devotee or the greatest devotee. So Mahaprabhu used to go to Tota Gopinath, where Gadadhar Pandit was there, and used to learn Srimad Bhagavatam from that bhakta, not by himself. And Gadadhar Pandit used to sing, Badaha Piram Natavada Papahu Karanayo Karni Karam Vivhradvashah Kanaka Kapisham Vaijayantim Chamalam Randhrana Venud Adhara Sudhaya Purayan Gopa Vrinde Vrindaranyam Swapadaramanam Ravishad Gita Kirtihi. Gadadhar Pandit used to sing this. Krishna's transcendental nature, what? Well, transcendental form. Krishna is wearing Badaha, that is the peacock feather on his head. And on his ear, there is blue Karnika flower. And his attire is yellow, like Kanaka, exactly like gold. And he's wearing the Baijayanti Mala. And he is filling the Bangshi, the Venu, filling the holes of the Bangshi with his Adharamrita. And he is entering the forest of Vrindavan, beautifying it with the marks of his footprints. And when the cowherd boys see that transcendental Natavada Bapu, that is the transcendental dancing form of Krishna, everybody is singing his glories. And when Mahaprabhu used to hear this thing from Gadadhar Pandit, he used to faint, or all the bhavas used to come upon on his transcendental body. So even Krishna himself, that is Mahaprabhu, used to learn Srimad Bhagavatam from a bhakta. So if we have to really develop the mood of Srimad Bhagavatam, we have to hear it from a Rasika Bhakta. So Narad Muni is saying that, oh Vyasdev, you are that Rasika Bhakta. Give that Srimad Bhagavatam to the world. Question 3 or case 3. So Narad Muni is saying that, okay, you have kind of indicated to whom I should give, but can you please explicitly say to whom I should give the Srimad Bhagavatam? So Narad Muni is saying that Anatmanam. Anatmanam means who? To whom Narad Muni is indicating that Anatmanam? Those who are only interested in sleeping, eating, mating, and defending, those who don't know the difference between the material happiness and spiritual happiness, those who cannot go beyond the Indriya Sukha, what can we call them? Those who don't know the difference between body and soul. They don't know that there is a difference between body and soul, and the soul is the part and parcel of super soul. The soul's nature is complete paratantriyata. Those who don't know, what can we call them? Anatmanam. So the Narad Muni is saying that please give the Shrimad Bhagavatam to those Anatmanam, give them some opportunity to at least know about Krishna. So that's why Narad Muni is saying like this to Vyasdev. Now, counter argument for this question, like when Narad Muni said that, you should give it to Anatmanam, then Vyasadeva's counter argument can be like, but I have heard that only Nibritita Sukham is also there in this verse, right? Those who are retired from the activities of material happiness, they can only release the rasa of Bhagavatam. Then how I am going to give it to the people who are still engrossed in material happiness? Those avivekas or the vivek-shunya people, how I can give them? So to understand Narad Muni's answer, Jiva Goswami quotes this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. So the verse goes like this. You all can sing this verse with me. It's a very nice verse, keeping yourself muted. So it goes like this. Nivritta tarshe rupagiyamanat bhavav sadachrot ramano viramat ka Tamasloka gunanuvadat puman virajita vina pashugnat. Narad Muni is saying that, well, it's true that the glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is certainly released by those who don't have any taste in this material happiness, or those who are no longer interested in the false temporary glorification of this cosmic manifestation. But it is also true that the descriptions of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul, undergoing repeated birth and death. This is a paraphrased version, a paraphrased translation. So why Narad Muni is saying that? We can easily understand this thing. I don't need to explain. Can material problems be solved by material solution? No. If we really need to solve our material problems, we have to bring unlimited solutions, and those unlimited solutions can come from spiritual solutions, and that spiritual solution can come from Krishna. So that's why Narad Muni is saying that you have to connect these Anatmanams to that unlimited personality, that is Krishna. Then only the material problems can be solved. But yes, Vyasdev, I do agree that some people will never hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Those are Pashugnath. Pashugnath means those who are like butchers, those who kill animals, or those who kill their own atmas. Or in other words, those who after hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, after hearing the instructions of Krishna, still interested in meat eating, meat killing, or they have not developed any desire for self-realization, those person will never come. But should we only consider those Pashugnaths? There are other people also. So you write Bhagavatam for those who are at this point of time maybe Anatmanam, but they have the capability of becoming Atmanam. Next one. Next question. Case 4. Okay, अब जो गड़बड़ होना था वो तो हो गया. Vyasdev is saying, I have already made the blunder. I've already compiled the Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads. So now even if I follow your instructions to write Srimad Bhagavatam, will there be any person who will hear me? Narad Muni is saying, of course. I mean, of course. In this material world, always there will be some vivekis, like men with discernment. Those people will always be there. But even if everybody is not a viveka, they can still take Srimad Bhagavatam as medicine. When they keep taking Srimad Bhagavatam day and night as medicine, automatically ruchi will be developed. So you at least take the endeavor. The problem is that you are not taking the endeavor. You are not taking this step to write this Bhagavatam. You do it, you see, then you see the magic. So that's why our Srila Prabhupada also, our mission, he just established ISKCON with this mission. So with Narad Muni, the mission based on Narad Muni's instructions only. To present the message of Krishna to the world without any adulteration, direct Krishna consciousness. to establish Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada's another mission. And another mission is to educate people that real happiness is in serving Krishna, not in serving one's senses. So you can find the link, right? How it is going, what is our movement? It is in disciplic succession. Okay, now question 5. Could you please clarify why will the general populace will hear SB, or is there any guarantee that even if I write it, the general populace will hear Srimad Bhagavatam, or like, SB is the acronym, like Srimad Bhagavatam? Narad Muni is like, why not? Okay, let's just assume for 1 minute that you don't have confidence in yourself. Don't you have confidence in that Ananta Parashya? Who is Ananta Parashya? Ananta Parashya is Krishna, who is unlimited. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, verse 22, it is said that the pleasures that arise from the contact with the sense objects, though appearing as enjoyable to worldly-minded people, are verily a source of misery. Means whatever enjoyment we get from any material object is temporary, and it can be the only source of misery. So the wise does not actually take delight in them. So only happiness, if really only happiness one has to derive, then we have to derive it from the unlimited. Because Shayam Bhagavan Krishna Akela Ishar Aditya Nandatmaja Rashika Shekhar. Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure. So Narad Muni is saying that don't you have confidence in that Krishna who has unlimited happiness, who is Rashik Shekhar? Don't you have that confidence in that Ananta Parashya, O Vyasdev? O Vyasdev, don't you have confidence in that Ananta Parashya who is the reservoir of unlimited sweetness? Madhuram Madhuram Bapurashya Bivur, Madhuram Madhuram Badanam Madhuram, Madhu Gandhi Mridu Smitam Etad Aho, Madhuram 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 Madhuram. Bilva Mangal Thakur says in Krishna Karnamrit that the transcendental body of Krishna is very sweet. Okay. But when you look at his face, we see that his face is even sweeter than his body. And when you look at his face, it has fragrance of honey. So it is even much sweeter. So Vyasdev, you don't have confidence in that Ananta Parashya who is this sweet. When you connect all these fools in this material world to that sweet personality, why you are thinking that they will not relish that Krishna, they will not take him? And don't you have confidence in that Krishna who has unlimited qualities? So Krishna, basically I was saying this in the beginning of this discussion, that Krishna has unlimited qualities. But do you know the thing? Even Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, they also don't know how many qualities Krishna has, even if they are like the highest demigods, highest personalities. In Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 21, verse 10 says that এই মতো কৃষ্ণের দিব্য সদ্গুণ অনন্ত ব্রহ্মা শিবা সনকাদি না পায় যার অন্ত. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Sanakadi, or 4 Kumaras, they don't know about the qualities, about like they cannot measure the unlimited qualities of the Lord. Okay, Lord Brahma doesn't know, Lord Shiva doesn't know. What about Ananta Shesh? He's Baladev himself. He has thousands of mouths. Does he know Ananta qualities of Krishna? It says that Brahmadirahu Sahasra Vadane Ananta Nirantaro Gai Mukhe Napai Guneranto. Lord Ananta Dev, since time immemorial, has been glorifying the transcendental qualities of Lord Krishna, but still he is not getting the end and the beginning. He is not getting. All right, so Lord Brahma doesn't know, Lord Shiva doesn't know, 4 Kumaras doesn't know, and then the Ananta Shesh, he also doesn't know. What about our Krishna, our Brajendanandan? I mean, he claims that he is omnipotent, he is omnipresent, he is omniscient, he knows everything. What about him? Does he know his own, like how many qualities he has? In verse 14, in the same chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita, it said that সেহরহু সর্বজ্ঞ শিরোমণি শ্রীকৃষ্ণ নিজ গুণের অন্ত না পাইয়া হয় না সতৃষ্ণ। To say nothing of Anantadev, even Lord Krishna himself cannot find an end to his own transcendental qualities. Indeed, of course, he himself is always eager to know them, but he also doesn't know like how many qualities he has. So like he is not able to measure. So Narad Muni is saying that, oh Vyasdev, please have confidence in that Ananta Parashya who can make impossible possible and just connect the Anant Manans to that unlimited. And you don't need to, you don't need to be tensed that whether people will take or not. People will take. Have confidence in that, Krishna. Sixth one, Vyasdev is saying, I think, oh Gurudev, whatever I have written, from there already the Vivek Purush will take the essence. Do I still need to work for the Avivekis? I mean, if the Vivek Shunyas or the Anath Manams don't understand my point, what is the use of me taking the time to talk Srimad Bhagavatam? So Narad Muni is saying, what do you think of Vyasdev? Why you have taken this avatar? Do you think that you have taken this avatar to deliver the already delivered souls, or already those people who are like Vivekas? For your kind information, Vivekas will get moksha even without you. You don't need to do anything for them. They will do their work, they will do their devotional service, and they will get their moksha. But you, as an avatar, as a Vaishnav, you have to work for the Vivek Shunyas, because Vaishnava's nature is pada dukhe dukhi. A Vaishnava is happy when others are happy. A Vaishnava is dukhi or sad when others are dukhi. You are not seeing how in this world all the people are so much immersed into sadness, in misery. Don't you know that your duty is to develop compassion for those Avivekis? Though you don't need to work for those Vivekis, just work for those Vivek Shunyas. Understand your potential, understand your duty as a Vaishnava, as a Saktavesha avatar. So that's how Narada Muni little bit satirically told. Gurudev has the right? Gurudev always says, Gurudev has all the right to talk like this with his disciples. And the disciple should take it, by the way. It should not retire. Wow, I am educated. I know so many things. I have done Bhakti Shastri. I have done Bhakti Vaibhav. How come my Gurudev can say, oh Gurudev, I have also read Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. But in front of Gurudev, we should say, Main to gadha hu. I'm just a fool number one, oh Gurudev. Just that should be the mode. And that is like Vyasdeva's mode. Well, I know that I have exceeded the time plus, but please give me like 5 more minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. I just want to finish it. I just want to say that I'm completely aware of the time. Don't think that I'm completely bhavavishta in Krishna Katha, that I've forgotten the time. What is the time now? I know I have exceeded the time. It has never happened that I have become so immersed that I have forgotten the time. It is just my deficiency that I'm not able to manage time properly. Please be merciful to me. Please bear with me 5 more minutes. 7th question, the 7th case. Vyasdev is saying, okay, even if I write Srimad Bhagavatam, will there be devotees who will preach that by considering the present conditioning of the jiva? Narad Muni, don't worry. Oh, Vyasdev, devotees will find out ways to preach Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srila Prabhupada answers it in the purport. In the purport, he says this paragraph. Can I request someone to read this paragraph, please, on behalf of me?
Hare Krishna. The literature is the factual literary incarnation of the Lord. So the layman can hear the narration of the activities of the Lord. Thereby, they are able to associate with the Lord and thus gradually become purified from material diseases. The expert devotees also can discover novel ways and means to convert the non-devotees in terms of particular time and circumstances. Devotional service is dynamic activity, and the expert devotees can find out competent means to inject it into the dull brains of the materialistic population. Such transcendental activities of the devotees for the service of the Lord can bring a new order of life to the foolish society of materialistic men. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada is saying that there are so many expert devotees who always discover novel ways and means to convert the non-devotees in terms of particular time and circumstance. And we can see basically in ISKCON, I mean, Srila Prabhupada has come up with so many novel endeavors like Sunday Love Feast, Rath Yatra, music, dancing, Shamshvas Prasadam, grand festivals. In the grand festivals, what happened? Not only devotees get seva, but even those who are not directly into this devotional service, even those can get service in those grand festivals. So what is the goal of all these things? To give Srimad Bhagavatam. Somehow or other, to preach Krishna Katha to everyone. That is Srila Prabhupada's mission. So Narad Muni is saying that, don't worry, everyone, our devotees will definitely find out ways to give Srimad Bhagavatam. But you first write, you first compile, and then you don't need to worry. So that was our last question. Let's revisit the translation. I have kept Srila Prabhupada's translation at the base and just added 1 or 2 sentences in this thing. So what we understood today? The Supreme Person, the Supreme Lord is unlimited, Vibhu or Ananta Parashya. Only a very expert personality, that is Bichakshana, retired from the activities of material happiness, that is Nivrittita Sukham, deserves to understand this knowledge of spiritual values. And O Vyasdev, you belong to that expert category, that is, you are Bichakshana. Therefore, those who are not so well situated, that is Anatmanam, due to material attachment, should be shown the ways of transcendental realization by your goodness, Vibhu, through descriptions of the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. Now let's look at the questions or cases at a glance, what answers we got. First question, Vyasdev is asking, am I qualified to do so? Yes, because you are Vichakshana, Narad Muni said. Is it absolutely necessary for me or Gurudev to give Krishna or Srimad Bhagavatam directly? Yes. Don't be pretentious. Third, to whom I should give Srimad Bhagavatam? Anatmanam. Fourth, already I have made the blunder. I have compiled all these things. Will there be any persons who will hear me? Yes, Vivek will always be there. Sorry. 5, could you please clarify why will the general populace will hear Srimad Bhagavatam? Because of Ananta Parashya, Krishna. I think whatever I have written from there, the Vivekis will take the essence, like the swan separates milk from water. But do I really need to work for the Avivekis? Oh, Vivekis don't need you. You work for the Avivekis. 7th, even if I write Srimad Bhagavatam, will there be devotees who will preach that by considering the present conditioning of the jivas? Yes, certainly. We can see it in our Mahaprabhu's movement. We can see in Srila Prabhupada's movement in ISKCON that continuously devotees are taking that endeavor. So I would conclude here. I'm really sorry that I've taken a little bit more time, exceeded the time. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, for tolerating me. I know that I have made many mistakes during this presentation. So why don't you all take some time to point out those mistakes or add some point, or maybe just 1 or 2 points that you want to take with you today after this thing, after this presentation. I'm grateful to all of you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Lal Gopal Das. I'll go first as I have to drop to go to some airport shortly. Is it okay?
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. I just want to tell that you did make a mistake of, surely you made a mistake of presenting such a nice way to make me realize that how I really did not pay much attention or importance to Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's a mistake you did by giving this wonderful presentation to make me realize. Oh, thank you. But overall, I feel that your format of this presentation is so very nice. It was like a complete. I've been hearing, we've been hearing and discussing about Srimad Bhagavatam for quite few weeks now. And on the same topic, why Srimad Bhagavatam? Why Vyasadeva was despondent? Why Narada? It's been keep on repeating. I think you try to answer pretty much all those related questions put together in this one presentation, which makes completeness of this discussion that's going on. So thank you so much. I did have one clarity where not clarity means clarification. I'm sure you have answered for that. That is, at one point you said one will kill their Atma by doing so. So somewhere in the middle you said that one will kill the Atma. So I'm just trying to understand how is it possible to kill Atma when Bhagavad Gita Krishna says Atma cannot be killed and you can't do anything with it. Can you please clarify that? And I'll be.
Oh, it's a metaphor. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your comment. I have, whatever I've said, I've learned from you and from all of you present here. And Atma, we can find it, I think in Upadeshamrita, Ishopanishad also. It is a metaphorical thing. We cannot kill Atma. Atma means like the killer of Atma, when we say like those who don't want to realize the goal of their lives, those who don't want to understand what is their goal, those who, even after hearing so many instructions from Krishna, those who still want to be on the material platform, those who don't want to connect themselves to Krishna, they can be called as the killer of Atma because they are not understanding the real nature of Atma. Atma's real nature is complete Paratantriyata, that is subservience to the Lord who is unlimited. Who is supremely independent. So the dependence towards that supremely independent. So those who don't know that, so they are not aware of their Atma. So that's why it is called that they had Atma, and you know the answer, obviously. So that's why it is a metaphorical definition, but definitely in Bhagavad Gita it is said that we cannot kill Atma, we cannot destroy Atma, but if we don't know about Atma, then it is similar to killing Atma, like that.
That makes sense. Thank you so much for clarifying that, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for joining.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Mataji. Thank you very much for the wonderful class. As Lal Gopal Prabhu said, this format was so beautiful. The 7 questions and the answers. We covered all the aspects of the translation and purport with the 7 questions and answers. So it will stay with me, the question answer kind of thing that will stay with me, and hopefully it will go in more and more. The point I'm going to take from today's class is Mataji, unlimitedness. Prabhupada says in the very first word, very first part of the translation, unlimitedness of Krishna, and you use the word Ananta Parasya. And I'm hearing that for the first time, but it's very beautiful. Where can I find the reference for that word, Mataji, Ananta Parasya? Is it from Bhagavad Gita or?
Sorry, Prabhuji, what did you ask? Like, where can you find?
Reference for that word, Ananta Parasya?
Oh, Prabhuji, that is there in this Srimad Bhagavatam verse only. In this verse only, you will find this Ananta Parasya verse. The word, but definitely the meaning you can find like consulting different other acharyas commentary like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Kromachandra Jiva Goswami. So you'll find the deeper meaning definitely, but this word is here in this verse only.
Yeah, it is there in the verse. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. One small clarification, Mataji. You said the first Vibhor is representing Krishna, the second Vibhor is representing Vyasadeva. But the way Prabhupada translated both of them, he is saying of the Lord.
Yes,
so I'm
yes.
Curious how do we understand that?
Yes, Prabhuji. As you know that I have been attending His Holiness Ramapad Swami Maharaj, Param Pujya Ramapad Swami Maharaj's lecture, and you can see like it is an we might say apparent contradiction, but not really contradiction. So basically, Prabhupada ji has translated it in a way, in one way, okay. But we can see this translation from different perspectives, okay. For example, like if you see this verse, just a minute, let me just. All right, fine. So if you see this verse, here Prabhupada ji is mentioning like only a very expert personality. Very expert personality means bichakshana, retired from the activities of material happiness, deserves to understand this knowledge of spiritual values. But then Jiva Goswami in Kroma Sandarbha says that Narad Muni is saying that, oh, Vyasadev, you are that very expert personality and vichakshana. So here we might find it is little bit apparent contradiction, but it is not apparent contradiction, but it is the bhav of the commentaries, you know. So similarly here, the translation is definitely, it seems like the Vibho is connecting to both, like the supreme, like both times to Supreme Personality of Godhead. But if we go to Jiva Goswami's commentary, and even like others like Bal Prabodhini, or like if you go to like Sri Shubodhini, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, so you will find that the acharyas have commented according to their bhav. They're saying like the first Vibho, they're saying like it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the second Vibho is like Vyasadev, because you are capable of dispelling the miserable condition of the life. And who is capable? Practically Krishna is capable, but you have also that capability because you are the Shaktavesha avatar. So yeah, we can see it from other commentaries, but if we only stick to Prabhupada's translation, you might find a little bit of like distance, but it's the bhav of different commentators.
Thank you, Mataji. That's wonderful. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Mataji, for this very wonderful class. I won't repeat what other devotees have said, but it was real nectar. And I wish that the class would continue for hours. So, Mataji, I had a question, continuation to what Benu Prabhu asked. So actually the Vibho here in this verse, in both places it says Vibhoho, right? So in Sanskrit, Vibhoho means of the Vibhu. And and Vibhu is one who has Vibhuti or opulences, right? So it refers to the Lord. So I was just wondering, how can it refer to Vyasadeva here? Because Vyasadeva is Narad Muni's disciple, and a spiritual master will never tell a disciple as the Lord, right?
Yes.
So I was just wondering, like, how the other translation that you gave, I mean, how do you understand that Vibhu is referring to Vyasadeva there?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much for your question. But it is, I think like it is, like we can take it very simply. Okay, so when we say like Bhagavan, okay, do we use Bhagavan only to Krishna? Yes, definitely Bhagavan, in his primary sense, we refer it to Lord Shri Krishna. Bhagavan means those who is endowed with like all the six opulences, right? Ishvara and the Bhagavan. But many times in Srimad Bhagavatam, we see like Lord Brahma has been, like I'm also saying Lord Brahma, right? Lord Brahma has been addressed as Bhagavan. Narada Muni has been also addressed as Bhagavan. So it is not that like definitely in its primary sense, Bhagavan has been considered to be Shri Krishna, but secondary sense, we definitely call others also. Now take this example of Vibho. Vibho has different meanings. Vibho means definitely Vibhutis. All the Vibhutis, he is Vibho who has all the Vibhutis or who has unlimited Vibhutis. But an avatar or a bhakta or a pure Vaishnava also get some of the vibhutis, maybe very partial, maybe very fraction from Krishna. That's what I have also discussed in today's presentation, that when a pure Vaishnava is like dedicated to his guru and the Lord Krishna automatically gives his qualities, his vibhu, his thing, like his vibhutis. And vibhu, another meaning is that who is capable of dispelling others' miseries. So in the second sense, in the first case, definitely it is Lord Shri Krishna. But in the second case, when Narada Muni is asking like or addressing Vyasadeva as Vibho, he is not comparing him to Krishna, but he is saying that you are Vibho because you are capable of dispelling the miseries of the fallen souls. So in that way, we can understand this thing. And in our Vaishnav culture, as you mentioned, that Gurudev never calls his disciple a Bhagavan. Definitely, it is the culture. But in our Vaishnav culture, we can see that even Narad Muni previously also called Vyasdev as Prabhu. So even like many times Guru Maharajas also call the Shishyas as Prabhu. Okay, so why so does it mean that the Shishya has become higher than the Gurudev? It's not like that. It's just the Vaishnav etiquette. But in this context, Vibho means when he is referring to Vyasdev, that means that he is capable of dispelling the miseries. That's how I understood, Prabhuji. What can have different meanings, different things, but so two things. One thing is like we have to understand a word in its primary sense. For example, the word you can take the word like bhakti. Bhakti in its primary sense always refer to Kevala Bhakti or Uttama Bhakti to Sri Krishna. But in its secondary sense, bhakti is also present in Karma Yoga. Bhakti is also present in Jnana Yoga, but that is in secondary sense. That is not the primary sense of bhakti. So that we can see in Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So I have also taken this word Vibho in its primary sense to the Lord, and in this secondary sense to Vyasdev. Definitely considering Jiva Goswami's Krama Sandarbha. Does it clarify a little bit, Prabhuji?
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, that's but just a small follow-up. I don't want to drag it for long, but it said Chestitam Vibho, right? Excuse me. So it said Chestitam Vibho, right? So so of the Vibho, and Chestita means activities, right? So it's the activities of the Lord. So why? Yeah, that's why I was wondering, like, why would that refer to Vasudev there? Because it's not the activities of Vasudev that's referring to.
Yeah, so the translation is like, it is like our Prabhupadaji's translation for us to understand, but the other acharyas have translated, as Romapad Swami Maharaj is saying, like the same Bhagavad Gita chapter 1, verse 10, the same word has been translated in various ways. So here we can take in the similar way, Prabhuji. It is not, you can see a little bit apparent contradiction, but that's how the other acharyas have also commented like this. For example, specifically if you see Krama Sandarbha like this, I don't have any other clarification for this, like why Jiva Goswami says like this, but I just want to take the bhav of the commentator. It's like that, you know. So even if, like, as I mentioned, the second sentence also, like the translation goes like this, that the Vichakshanas can only understand, but Narad Muni is saying that you are the Vichakshana. So similarly here also, here is mentioning that by your goodness through the description, like due to, like, it is saying that those who are not so well situated due to materialism should be shown the ways of transcendental realization by your goodness. By your goodness, this thing you have you understood, right, Prabhuji? By your goodness means Narad Muni is directly addressing Vyasdev, right? By your goodness means like Vyasdev, oh Vyasdev, through descriptions of the transcendental activities. So that is the translation. This is very clear. But if you see the word by word synonyms, so that is just the Sanskrit word translation. Okay, Sanskrit word meaning. But if you read the last sentence, it is very clear in the Prabhupada's translation also. Here, if you see this by your goodness, let me just share my screen so that okay, so see, this translation is saying that therefore Narad Muni is saying those who are not well situated due to material attachment should be shown the ways of transcendental realization by your goodness, means Vyasdev, by your goodness, your Vibho, through descriptions of the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. Okay, so now this is clear that Narad Muni is asking Vyasdev. But if we go back here in the synonyms, it can create a little bit, but the Sanskrit translation, we have to understand that, like, it can create a little bit, you know, contradictions. Not contradictions, it's like sometimes we don't get the proper word also. But do you have any proper English meaning for seva? The service is not seva. So like that. That's how I understood, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for such a nice lecture. I felt that you are very much immersed into the ocean of bhakti, and the way your expression is coming up, the way you are trying to explain certain concept, lot of devotion. That's what I felt, and I think you should be really doing this as much as you can. Krishna has definitely empowered you, and be a good preacher. Preach the people. I think you can definitely motivate so many conditioned soul. I can see that with your technical presentation and understanding, whatever you have gained so far. So nice, Mataji. Really appreciate. And thank you so much. Just wanted to make a quick announcement that today we have Ara's birthday celebration. She is becoming second years. So anybody who has time, who is in town, you are invited to come and be part of that celebration. We are going to do 2 hours kirtan from 5:30 until 7:30. So devotee who can come sooner, don't worry for the schedule. You will get the opportunity to chant. Also tomorrow we have Sunday feast, and I know that many devotees are out for Maharaj Vyas Puja. At the same time, tomorrow, new initiates, they are really making opulent prasadam. So I saw the list, and it's really super delicious prasadam. So please, if you are in town, come to temple and be part of our Sunday feast celebration. Last but not least, such a technical presentation is being given by our exalted devotee here. They are putting a lot of their time, pulling things together, and making us enlightened on this topic. So I request all of you, please spread the word and let other devotees also. We had 15 participants today, which is pretty good, but I think we can have 200 participants on the Bhagavatam class, because this is such a beautiful subject that we are discussing every morning, and devotees should for sure get benefit. So thank you so much. Dandot pranams to everybody. Mataji, you can chant Vaishnava pranams, and then we can adjourn. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, everyone. And we'll conclude it. Vaishnava Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu vaevacha patitanam pavanebhya vaishnavebhya namo namaha. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे।